What's up, guys? MtgJedi here. Tired Jedi coming at you today with a mythical champion video, and I was conscripted into service this morning to bring you guys some information and my opinions on this situation. And thank you to those of you who want that information. I appreciate that. And hopefully this is informative, and hopefully Plarium will watch this because there is going to be some constructive feedback. Before that, I did get a Sacred Shard from Clan Boss, and we are going to open that right now real quick because I am deep into Mercy, and I would really love to get an Elva? Yeah, an Elva. Or another Ragash. I would take that. You know, there's plenty of champions. So let's open that real quick, and then we'll talk about the mythical stuff. Of course we did. Of course we did. I actually love Ursine Ice Crusher, so let's buff him, Plarium, while we're talking about it. So, mythical champions coming to raid that require mythical books, and we get them from a new shard called Primal Shards. And we don't know how those are going to appear in the game. We don't know how we're going to get them. Is that going to be something like Prism Crystals? We don't know the details, okay? The only thing we know is that in 2 days, on Tuesday the 5th, we should know more. That's basically all we know right now. The other thing we know is the kit of the champions. And so, we're going to head over to hellhades.com, and they have up there all of the information in one spot. I did not have time to put that on my site, so we'll just use his, and I will link to that in the comments below if you want to go take a look at this article yourself. Now, before we move on to their kits, I want to say, first of all, I'm not going to go through every single thing about their kit. I'm going to highlight what I think is important to know and why these champions are busted, okay? And then if you want to, as I said, you can head over to the website, take your time, or pause the video. I mean, I'll have all the information on the screen, so you can pause it in case you don't know everything that's going on just yet, and we will break it down for you. The other thing I want to say is that 100% of this new update depends on the implementation. How do we get these shards? How do we get these champions? What do the rates look like? You know, if they say that this is like 0.01% chance to get mythical or something, and the only way you can get it is by purchasing them from the shop, then, you know, this is just not going to be good for the game. And I think that this is a real tipping point for Raid Shadow Legends, and we really need to be careful, Plarium. I really hope you have thought this through, because I think this is right on the edge of the cliff. You need to be careful how this is implemented. I would love for, when we come in the game over here, that you cannot just head to the shop section and purchase these. I would love if you cannot purchase them at all. I would love if the only way you could get them is winning them in shards and events, or working towards them in missions. Something like that. That's what I would like, okay? Now, in addition to that, I have heard that you can get rare champions from Primal Shards. If that is the case, then that is literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard, okay? I simply do not understand, okay? I don't understand. It does not make sense. Why would you do that, okay? I think that if these mythic shards were just extremely rare, and then the only thing you get out of them is legendaries and mythics, that would be cool, okay? The next thing that I want to say before I jump in is that how you implement them into the PvP is extremely important. if we have mythical creatures, that's a Magic reference. If we have mythical champions running around in bronze and silver, it is going to be a miserable play experience because these champions are on an entire nother level, okay? The main thing that I want you to think when you think about these mythical champions is basically take a team full of champions and put them together in one kit. That's how powerful they are in my mind. Whether they are that powerful in, the game when we get them, I don't know. But that's how it seems right now. It's like if you put Terrace and Marichka together in one champion, that's a mythical champion right there. And sometimes they have even more abilities than that, which we'll talk about in a moment. The other thing, too, about the mythical champions is that they are so complex. Let's take Valkonen here as a good example of the complexity, right? He has a normal A1, a normal A2, sort of a normal A3, and then he has this thing down here, and all of these are super lengthy and detailed. And then his passive is long and complex as well. And this is the type of thing that we're talking about with the mythical champions, except they have 2 pages. It's like if you take Valkonen's kit and combine that with Little Miss Annie and all the stuff she has going on over here, then that would be a mythical champion, because they just do so many things, and I'm worried about the complexity. There is a breaking point where once you go above that, the champions are too unwieldy. Like they're too difficult to play with, and that makes it not fun. So I'm concerned about that, and I hope that that's not true. But if this is going to work, they need somehow to be balanced in PvP. My suggestion is that you make multiple game modes for Live Arena. I think it'll basically be fine in Classic and 3v3 because you can just avoid those teams. But in Live Arena, if it comes down to everybody just picking mythical champions and then demolishing the people who don't have them, that's going to be a very, very negative play experience. So what I'd like to see here is not just battles, but like non-mythical battles where we can just do the same things we've been doing, or multiple game modes, or the ability to have friendly battles where we can decide on the rules, okay? We don't want this battle rules, no restrictions to be empty here. I don't care what tier you're in. If you're in bronze, silver, or gold, I don't care. There needs to be restrictions on mythical champions for Live Arena. Otherwise, it's going to be very problematic. Okay, so now let's move on and talk about the kits of the champions. And again, why I am concerned. I'm trying not to be super negative because we don't know for sure how the implementation is. But from reading the comments and watching other videos, I think I've watched every single video from other content creators on this topic. Everyone, Polarium, everyone is very concerned about this addition to the game. And next of all, how do you get the books? Like, how are we going to be booking these champions? How are we going to get those books? We don't know how many books they're going to take, so hopefully it's like 2. I don't know. Something ridiculously low. If you're trying to tell me that we need like 10, 12, 15 mythical books, and the mythical books are going to be harder to get than the legendary books, oh man, people are just going to be so furious. Okay? I'm hoping that, this is a pipe dream, but I'm hoping that there's going to be a farmable way to get books. If there's not, it's just there's so many factors here that can go the wrong way, and I'm worried about it. Okay, mods, keep banning these people. Don't do this. This is how you get your account banned. Alright, let's take a look at the kits, and then I'm going to tell you what's important and the reason why these champions are so powerful. Alright, the first one up is Siegfrund the Nephilim, and if he's not the tallest champion in the game, I'm gonna be mad, because the Nephilim were giants, like, bigger than any beings. They were, like, enormous. Anyway, so, what is important about this champion, okay? Let me break it down for you. Alright, so, basically, Siegfrund, what he does is he is a damage dealer that has a Leo-like passive, okay? On his passive, actually that's not on screen, one second. On his passive, he gets a block damage buff, then heals him by 50% of his max HP, and fills his turn meter by 100%. So, that doesn't mean he's going to get an extra turn right away, but what it does mean is he's going to get an extra turn very soon. So, can you get around that? Yes, I think there are ways to get around that. Is it easy to get around that? No. So, you have probably a champion with crazy multipliers, because you have the surplus damage type of attacks, and he doesn't die when you try to kill him. So, it's a very powerful combination of abilities. And then when he transforms, he can revive the rest of your team. So, not only can he just probably kill the opposing team, but then when people are dead, he can revive them. So, he just does too many things. He cleanses, he heals, he revives, and he kills people. Like, how is that all in one kit? Okay? How is that all in one kit? And then, when he's in his support side, he has a passive to decrease damage taken by 20%. Like, is that just to him? Is that to the whole team? I don't know, but that's crazy. And in a situation like Hydra, you can just leave him on the top side until somebody dies, and then when someone dies, then you flip him, revive them, and then flip him back to start doing more damage. It basically lets you remove... It's like a Duchess Leo combination of a champion. Oh, plus the cleanse. So, let's put Pythion, Duchess, and Leo together. That's basically what this champion is. 3 of the best champions in the game smacked together into one kit. It's just like, it's wild to me. And that's just the first one. Alright, next up, we have the new werewolf, Mezomel Luperfang. And what she does is just kill everything, okay? She has a 2-hitter that ignores all of the buffs in the world, and then places block revive if she kills them. So she ignores everything and block revives people. In addition to that, she also gives herself all of the buffs to do all of the damage. And then, if that's not enough, she places Revive on Death on herself if she kills an enemy. So, she kills people, she stops herself from dying. Just like, what more do you actually need? How are we supposed to compete? I don't even know how you're supposed to match these champions up against each other, because they're so crazy. And then on her alternate form, which you probably don't need very often, but just in case they put a team-wide unkillable or block damage on, then you can just kill the whole team. And then if anyone's left alive, you can flip back to the top side of her kit and then just kill them, you know, because that's not insane or anything. And next up is Gharol Bloodmaul. And this is the first of 2, basically, Terrace Marichka combination champions, where on the front side, we have an AoE provoke with an unkillable buff. We have like a fake cleanse for removing block buffs, which is important because of the Monkey King, and then places ally protection and a shield. And then on the passive, which is the most important thing, she is going to heal all allies. She has like a Vogoth passive. And then on the flip side, she flips into a damage dealer, where she's increasing her damage based on the number of buffs, just like Terrace does, and ignoring 30% of their defense. Not to mention that whenever an ally attacks, she's gonna team up with her, okay? And then she has an AoE A1 that has a chance to proc again. It's just like, how? Okay, second Terrace Marichka combination here. We have a buff to the damage if your max HP is higher. Okay, we have an insane buff to damage based on the amount of HP that you stack on the champion. And then on the flip side, we have this ridiculous passive that reflects 80% of the damage taken by this champion back to the attacker. 80%! Okay, so as you can tell, these champions are just on a whole nother level, okay? The last one down here is very interesting. This is Arbais the Stonethorn, and she has like her own thorn mech that she gets into on the flip side, which is pretty cool. But she has a ridiculous turn meter boost and a speed in all battles aura of 25%. She gets the 30% speed boost with increased attack and increased accuracy. So we get the Arbiter turn meter boost with the Lady Kimmy increased accuracy. And then she's going to flip over into Leech HP burn, continuous heals, taunts, putting Stone Skin on herself, placing decreased speed automatically on the passive. Okay, so you're combining too many abilities into one kit with these champions. Okay? And again, I think it's all a matter of how do you get them in the game. How do you get these? Is the only way in the shop behind me here? Or are we just going to do it as rewards? Tread lightly, Polarium. Okay? So that's my opinions on all the new champions. I think all 5 of them are busted. Like, better than everything else in the game. All 5 of them. We have like the Duchess and Terrace Marichka right in that area, then these champions are up here. They're above that. They're off the screen. I can't even go that high because my camera is not that way. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you appreciate this, make sure you hit the like button and share it. You know, all of that stuff. But that's my opinions on the new champions. I hope that this doesn't kill the game. I think that that's a legitimate fear that we have. I hope this doesn't make tons of people quit. I hope they do it in a way where it's fun and awesome, and you can't just throw money at the situation to basically dominate the game. So, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.